morning, everybody. Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Look, I hope that you have had an unbelievable and wonderful weekend. I hope that you rested, enjoyed your family, whatever. For those of you who have put in work during the weekend, I hope that you advanced your cause, your vision, your dream, your aspirations, your plan, your strategy. I want to talk to you about something I'm immensely excited about. There's so much going on with Rick Wallace Enterprises, which includes the Epigenetics Institute, Master Fitness 21, the Odyssey Project, and so a few others. Things that I am so proud of and excited about, but nothing more than the Healed and Whole launch, for lack of a better thing, because it's not just a book release. It is the launch of a journey that I want to help people create to holistic health. Now, a lot of you are aware of the fact that I have spent literally decades developing and honing my craft, for lack of a better word, in the field of human behavior psychology, and everything surrounding it, from neuro-linguistic programming, psycho-cybernetics, quantum psychology, embodied cognition, and so much more. But very few of you are probably aware of the fact that I've spent an equal amount of time in the field of epigenetics, how our environment and our life experiences impact gene performance. And in doing so, this initially started for me simply trying to understand generational trauma and how it relates to the Black experience from slavery to current. And this started in the mid-90s and has come to this point. And it was just literally about, okay, can you literally pass down trauma that you've experienced? And we know now that you can, through what we know to be called genetic tags, epigenetic tags. And we also know now that environmental experiences have an epigenetic influence on gene performance and therefore health and the ability to fight off illnesses. But and we know this through, we started with the field of psychosomatics, how the body and the mind are correlated and impact one another. But there's so much more to it, and epigenetics opens that conversation up. But in doing this, something unbelievably and miraculously happened. When I started to learn how your environmental influences, the experiences of trauma and negative events, but also the experience of chronic stress, the consistent anxiety and worry about what's happening now and what might happen and how it impacts your world, the experiences of being neglected, abandoned, and all this as a child, which we now call adverse childhood experiences, and all of this stuff. I learned how it negatively impacts your health. I came to understand and wrote about extensively how our environmental stresses is one of the most prominent influences and causes of cancer. And I did so I guess passionately, that I was contacted by the International Council who conducts the conferences on epigenetics and cancer, and was invited to speak in Frankfurt, Germany in 2017. And it's just been going ever since. Now, the beauty of this thing is you get so caught up in what's wrong, sometimes you miss what's right. But I started to look at it, and what we find is that a lot of the things that happens on the epigenetic level, which is above the gene but influences the performance of the gene. I don't want to get too in depth in that, but basically by changing your environment, you create a more healthy environment. So then we start to delve into what's the flow of scientific force behind the placebo effect, where people who thought they were taking the medication did as good or better than the people who actually took the medication. Well, it's real simple. Number one is your faith creates an environment. What you believe to be good creates an environment of positivity, gratitude, anticipation. And this actually services and upregulates or turns on the genes that help you do healthy. Your genes are constantly transcribing your DNA, which initially tells you how tall you're going to be, the color of your eyes, your temperament, all that, but it also has all of the information your body needs to be able to perform fighting diseases, recovering from an injury. All of these different things come from your genes' ability to read your DNA. Well, when your genes read your DNA, they transcribe, then they interpret, and then they execute. Well, what happens with the negative side of epigenetics is that your genes are negatively impacted in a way that they can't properly transcribe and interpret, so they don't perform well. In many instances, you can have such a monumental or prominent influence that you will have something like, say for instance, immune genes actually be downregulated or turned off, and you can have disease genes like cancer genes upregulated and turned on, and you don't have the ability to fight off whatever's attacking you, the flu, COVID, whatever. I mean, this isn't some magical cure. This isn't what I'm saying, so I don't want to get people confused. This is also not a book of conspiracy theories about what's doing what, but what I do know is there is a difference between drugs and medicine, and the drugs treat the symptoms. The medicine is meant to touch the causality and reverse it. And when you learn how to use medicine, and medicine, I've learned in this book, Healed and Whole, we talk about how your thought processes are medicine, how your environment is medicine, how you create the proper state of mind that creates the proper environment for healing. And we're finding that what was once believed to be, for lack of a better term, crap and hogwash, self-healing, now we understand that there's a reason why. And it seems to be more prevalent in areas and countries where propaganda and misinformation isn't so high, to where people haven't been told what they can't do at a level that they don't believe they can do anything that certain people in power tell them they can. And what we find is there's a way to create this environment. And even in situations, one of the most beautiful things that I learned a long time ago, and I teach my clients, no matter what they come to me for, if they're coming to me for trauma, if they're coming to me to improve their performance in their careers, change their careers, start a business, whatever, it is that you don't control everything. You don't need to. Control your response, control your anticipation, control your understanding that you can make choices that will change any situation. It is not a magic cure. It doesn't necessarily happen overnight. But what you know in your mind is that I can win. And when you change your mindset just to that, your health will improve. When you stop allowing things to come into your periphery, into your environment, into your way of thinking, and scaring you. Do you realize that nearly 70% of the things that people worry about never happen? And yet that worry, that strain, that stress, that anxiety leads to a vast variety, an array of illnesses and diseases and so much more. And yet here you are letting things that won't happen. And then another 20%, even when they happen, won't have the negative impact that you think they will. So we're talking, and when you get down to it, the research has shown that roughly 7% of the things we worry about will have the anticipated impact that we think they will. And then even those things, most of them you overcome. If you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. But what I want to do is I want to invite you first and foremost to get a copy of the book. But I also want to invite you to this unbelievable event we're having next Saturday. Well, this coming Saturday. It's a Sunday, so it's not next Saturday. It's the coming Saturday, where I am literally going to go through the principles and concepts in this book. And we're going to talk about how you can immediately start to change your environment and upregulate healthy genes and downregulate the genes that can cause you harm and autoimmune diseases, cancer, and make you more prone to type 2 diabetes, make you more prone and susceptible to viral and bacterial infections. All these different things are within your control. Again, this isn't some magic thing. This isn't telling you that stop taking your doctor's medicine. What this is telling you is there's a world out there that you need to understand, and there's a path to holistic health that very few people are even aware exists. And I want to introduce you to that path. I want to introduce you to the possibilities that are out there. And this is so much more than just saying, I got a clean bill of health. Do you realize that you perform at a higher level in sports, higher level with your finances, higher level in your relationships, higher level in your career, higher level in the pursuit of any dream or goal when you are healthy? When your health suffers, everything around you suffers. So if you're trying to advance in something, your health is playing a role in it. How healthy are you? How well does your body respond even when you're trying to do the right thing, like workout, like train, like burn calories and fat? I can tell you, I've been at the extreme of being an elite and healthy person. During my athletic years, I've also been at a point where I let myself go, getting caught up in the strains of life. I'm human just like anybody else, and because of that, my research makes sense to me because I've seen both sides of it, and I know what it's like. And I've seen, since my heart attack, I've seen what it's like to just change the way I think and how my heart responds to that. Because once you have a heart attack, you're in tune with it. Whatever it tells you, you hear it. And you start, but it also trains you to listen to other parts of your body. Not just when you have pain, but in the signals it's sending to the brain about anything. And you are a participant in what's going on there. And when you learn how to master that, things happen. You ever just wonder why there are people popping up now that are living to 116 and 120 and looking unbelievably good, faculties, full mental faculties and everything? Listen to their conversations. And a lot of these people are people who have very hard lives in perspective and in comparison to what a lot of people experience. A lot of these people are African American, and if they are that old, they went through some rough times. But listen to their conversations, listen to how they approached it, listen to what they think, listen to the level of faith they have. Faith isn't something governed by religion. Faith is a belief that God has a purpose in your life and He's facilitating it, He's providing provision for it, and that in that facilitation and provision, everything you need to win is there when you have that mindset. However you want to perceive it, however you want to write it up, when you believe in the reason you're here, things change. I want to show you that. So I want to invite you to this. There's a general admission. People, the first 25 people sign up are going to get a free copy of the book. That's the first thing. Going to get a free copy of the book. There's a VIP where you're going to get 3 sessions with me, valued at $550 each. There in the first 25 also will get one free session with me in general admission. VIP, you get 3 sessions, which that's valued at $1,540, which is considerably more than what it's actually going to cost to register. Look, click the link, register, get your signed copy, show up next week. And here's the beautiful thing. It's going to be recorded, and it will be played back and accessible to anybody who registered for it. And finally, once we hit 50 registrants, I'm going to open up a lottery where I will be drawing the name of one person who will get to spend an entire year with me, which is our platinum package. That's 52 sessions with yours truly, valued at $15,000, $14,995, $15,000. Man, I'm going to share some of the I'm going to share a link to some of the comments of people who have actually participated in that package and let you see for yourself. But I help people win. Now I'm helping people get healed and whole. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Don't miss it. I'm about to actually get out of here and get my behind in the gym and put in my work, which is something that I'm extremely committed to. And I want you to be committed to your best life. And it starts with being whole and healthy. And in Healed and Whole is this book that opens up a whole vast new world of knowledge about how you get there. Come in, have a seat. It's a virtual event. You can attend from anywhere if you have a device and internet connection. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I challenge you to do the same.